Can't believe I'm finally putting this to paper after so many years. It's not an easy thing to talk about, but my therapist tells me it needs to be done. She says it's time to let go of the past and that writing about it will help me in the long run. I'm not entirely sure I agree with her assessment. Just thinking about it sends chills up and down my spine. A few times a week, the memories of it resurface in my dreams, and I wake up in a cold sweat. My wife tells me that sometimes I scream in my sleep and it wakes her up, but I never remember the screaming. I've told her a little bit about what happened to me as a kid, but I have never really told her everything. I've always been afraid of getting the look that people sometimes get when you tell them to believe in ghosts. It's 3 a.m. now and the apartment's quiet. My wife and the cat are asleep. It's probably not the best time to be reliving the story, but it's not like I'll be sleeping tonight anyway. So in the hopes of moving on, here's my story. When I was a kid growing up in the 80s, I lived in that house that every neighborhood had. You know, that house that people generally stay away from and gossip about going to the supermarket. They'll say things like, I've always had a bad feeling about that place, or, hey, did you hear that place was haunted? I grew up hearing about it from my friends, who must have heard the stories from their siblings or parents. There were a lot of different versions, of course. Because we lived in Dayton, Ohio, near Wright Pat Air Force Base, the rumors stretched from aliens to a previous family of serial killers. As well as all the tales I've heard were, I can tell you from experience that none of them were right. For the most part, it was just my mother, my older brother and sister, and me. Dad was a salesman for some machine company that none of us knew too much about, so he wasn't really around much. Nothing really ever happened when Dad was home, or at least nothing he'd outright admit to. I think we all felt safer when he was there, which wasn't often. We tended to all sleep in the living room while he was gone, none of us really wanting to be alone. No one really stayed over much, but I can't say I blame them. It's not like many people wanted to talk to the family when that happened. What I remember most clearly was something that even happened occasionally when Dad was around. I'd wake up in the morning in my pajamas, Dad clutching his flashlight in the hallway. I'd tell them the horrors of the night before had led to this morning. And of course, everyone but Dad would believe me and hang on my every word. Dad would accuse me of making up stories again, and even went on to claim that I was sleepwalking or suffering from night terrors. The rest of my family, of course, knew the dark proofs of my midnight wanderings. A myriad of things happened in that house, but momentarily I'll get to the events that caused us to leave. First, I thought it would be helpful to know some of the things that we saw there. When I researched about the paranormal since those days, it tells me we experienced some common occurrences and some not so common. Things would fly off shelves and walls, and you'd smell things that weren't there. Our dog's teeth would freak out in thin air and run around invisible intruders. Some of the less common things were full-bodied apparitions, moans, sometimes screaming, and on a few occasions, smoke would fill and overflow the house. During the instances the smoke was seen, neighbors would even call the fire department, who of course could never provide us with any real explanation. The week leading up to our leaving was like any other week really. Dad was leaving for a trip and wouldn't be home for the weekend, and as always, Mom was begging him not to leave us alone in that house. Each night, Mom would make us beds on the floor in the living room while she took the couch. There was an unspoken rule among us not to look into the dining room or down that long dark hallway to our room. Nothing ever good came from it. That night left seemed about as normal as every other night. The same horrifying sounds came from all depths of the house, and the disembodied shadow people roamed every wall. Each morning we left the school exhausted and became more terrified about the thought of returning home when the final belt of the day would sound. How my mother survived there without us, we never knew. Friday night rolled around and we were bolstered by the thought that Dad would be back the following afternoon. We settled into a movie marathon in the living room with our little beds all made up and munched on popcorn. That was the night that things got worse. There was a huge storm going on outside, so strong that it sounded like the wind was pulling a few shingles from the roof. The rain was coming down like mini explosions echoing through the dark and empty house. I had to go to the bathroom, but the light was at the other end of the hallway and no one would go with me. Finally, Mom took me by the hand and together we braved the darkness. We made it down the hallway quicker than usual, sensing at the opening to every even darker room we passed. Eventually, we made it to the light switch and everything seemed fine at first. Mom waited in the hall while I closed the bathroom door and turned to look around. Something wasn't right, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. I went to the bathroom and washed my hands in the sink. It wasn't until I looked in the mirror that I noticed what was wrong. Two people were staring back at me from their reflection. Two clearly dead people. Their skin was cracked and somehow still bleeding, their eyes hollow and endless. They seemed to be moving closer, but I was frozen in shock. I tried to call out, but the sounds just wouldn't come. Since something was wrong, my mom tried to open the door, but somehow it was locked, and no matter what she did, it wouldn't budge. According to the view in the mirror, those things were now on either side of me. Suddenly the realization of who they were hit me, and finally I screamed. It was my brother and sister. I'd just seen them moments ago, alive and well. This just didn't make any sense. Suddenly the door popped open and Mom ran in. Just as their arms flew around me, we could hear the earth-shattering screams rip down the hallway to the living room. And just as we turned to run to the source, a nasty bolt of lightning felt like it struck the old TV tower on top of the house. The floor rumbled and creaked, and we were suddenly plunged into darkness. The closer we got to the living room, the louder the screams got, echoing so harshly that my ears were starting to ring. The lightning was coming just quick enough to allow small glimpses of the room between flashes. Not even what I saw in the bathroom prepared me for what I was seeing now. My brother and sister were huddled up on the floor together, surrounded by the shadows that before now had only existed on the wall. They were solid forms, so dark no light would penetrate them. Mom, dragging me with her, pushed through the figures to get to my brother and sister. We all just latched onto each other, and Mom screamed for us to run. We tried the front door first, but it wasn't budging. Mom grabbed the keys to our van, and my brother and I grabbed the two emergency flashlights on the hook by the door. Together we headed towards the old laundry room and the back door was. It was the scariest part of the house on a bright sunny day. The thought of seeing it now sent chills up my spine. We reluctantly ran in that direction, chased all the way through the kitchen and dining room by those damn shadows. The back door was every bit as immobile as the front door had been. We were trapped, and all of us knew it. The washer and dryer turned themselves on somehow. They were so loud it sounded like rocks were inside of them. We each searched one another's eyes, hoping to find some ray of hope that seemed just out of reach. We just stood there for what felt like forever, staring at those shadows as they stared back at us. Out of desperation, Mom herded us back into the living room. The figures just stood there watching us. If they wanted to, they could have grabbed us at any moment. It was like they were playing the ultimate game of cat and mouse. Mom rushed us down the long hallway we were all so terrified of. Just as we passed my brother and I's room on the right, more figures slid out to join the chase. The hallway ended in a huge empty space containing doors to the rest of the house. Figures poured from every doorway, keeping us pinned down in the middle of that open space. From above, the attic door began to groan and creak. It would seem to warp down towards us. I thought for sure it would crack open to unleash hell at any moment. Suddenly, I could feel hands grabbing at me, hands that didn't belong to anyone in my family. Their grips were so cold and became painful very quickly. I began to lose consciousness as I felt an intense pressure on my chest, making it almost impossible to breathe. I could hear my mom praying while my brother and sister were reduced to tears. The last thing I heard before I blacked out was a whisper in my left ear. A deep voice said, "You'll never be alone again." We woke up the next morning all huddled in the hall in our pajamas with two flashlights dimmed with no batteries. All the lights were on in the house now, and everything was quieter than it had ever been. We were covered in bruises that suspiciously looked like handprints. We moved from room to room together, packing some clothes and a few odds and ends. Mom took us to Granny's house. Having experienced the house, she believed us immediately, and told my mother she'd always knew that something like this would happen. We went to the airport to pick up my father from his trip with the family. On the way back to Granny's house, none of us really said much. Dad did most of the talking, told us all about his most recent trip to China. He brought us back some really cool gifts, he said, and couldn't wait to show them to us later. Mom mentioned we were staying the weekend with Granny, and he didn't seem to mind. Mom went back to talk to Dad once the rest of us went inside. We heard them arguing about something, but Granny distracted us before we heard much of anything. Dad came in long enough to pass all the gifts and head for home. That night we put on the silk pajamas with the dragons he bought us. And we slept great that night for the first time in a long time. Dad came back the next morning to see us. He was white as a sheet, shaking a little. That terrified me, I think, more than the rest of us. Dad was always the bravest and strongest man I knew, and seeing something like this was done suddenly. He told us we were going to be staying with Granny for a while, but wouldn't really say why. A few days later, he set us all down and let us know we were going to move. He said it was something him and Mom had been talking about for a while. They bought the house when they were first married. They expect such a large family. He called it an upgrade, but the rest of us knew it was more than that. Within the next couple of weeks, we had moved into the new house on the other side of the neighborhood. Dad had sent for our things to ensure none of us had to step foot in that place again. Now and then I drive by the old place. There's always some different family there, and a for sale sign out front. No one seems to stay there long. Can't imagine why. I thought about going to an open house to see the place again, but I could never seem to make it past the front porch. Throughout the years, we've all tried cornering my dad to ask him what he'd seen. We wanted to know the real reasons that we moved. He'd always just play it off and start talking about black mold that we all knew wasn't there. It wasn't until the week before he passed away that he finally opened up to me about what he saw. He didn't go into much detail. but he was adamant about me knowing that he believed us. The day he died, we were all together at the hospital, spending the last few hours together, being a complete family. Just before he closed his eyes forever, he suddenly grasped my hand, and his eyes got really wide. In a voice I suddenly recognized with abject fear and utter horror, he said, "You'll never be alone again."